If my daughters need new shoes for dancing, there's money there to do that.
It's a big day for a garden centre owner and her blossoming business.
Really, everything hangs on this. I wouldn't say it's the whole future, but it's a big part of it.
And the flexible friend that stops you overspending.
I can't overdraw, and I can't dip into money I haven't got. So then, in turn, I don't get into problematic positions where I can't pay back something.
Community credit unions encourage people to save and lend that money to others at competitive interest rates. Bristol Credit Union started in 2006.
Can you check my state pension is in, please?
And it plays a vital role for its 12,000 members.
I've come in to apply for a loan today.
If you stand out in the office of the credit union for more than a couple of hours, you'll doubtless come across all sorts of different characters from right across the city.
I don't think I would be able to get a loan anywhere else.
Welcome to the credit union.
That's right, yeah, it is.
They're all friendly, they're all local people.
Fantastic. So we just get your account all set up.
So one of the things that's really important to us at Bristol Credit Union is actually treating people with respect.
Can I check my balance, please?
Of course, you've got a balance there of £600 and 2 pence.
Thank you.
So, yeah, have a good one, mate.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Next in line is busy Mama Danta.
Sit down, all right?
Hello. All right, how can I help?
I've come to apply for a loan.
She's arrived with her 3 daughters. With a new term looming, she needs £550 to buy school clothes for her children.
School closed. It's that time of year again.
Yeah.
Oh, it comes around every time. Oh, well, hopefully we'll be able to sort you out for that amount, and you won't be paying too much interest on there. It'll only be about £60 or so.
The credit union formed when 5 smaller unions merged, and all with the help of former High Street bank worker James Berry.
I walked into the local credit union when I was still working for a bank, looking to do something for good. And my first role, I thought, was going to be something to do with marketing, which was my background. Walked in to see if I could help with that, and I walked out as the treasurer, because as somebody who worked in a bank, I must know something about numbers. We're actually up to 11,500 members today in around 12 years since I first joined.
It now has almost 7 million in savings, which puts it in a great position to lend money where it's needed. But it doesn't mean every loan is automatically approved. The credit union always checks its members aren't overstretched and can pay it back. And it's good news for Adanta.
You've had a loan approved for £550. Would you like that transferred to your bank today?
Yes, please,
Oh,
thank you.
certainly.
It makes me feel amazing. Like, I can go and get their school clothes with no worries, no stress. So yeah, it feels a big relief. I'm really pleased. I'm going to start a savings account up with them. So yeah, they can not ask me for money now because they'll have their own. Yeah. Bit of stress relief.
Oh,
That's good.
Oh, great stuff.
Thanks. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
We can actually go shopping now. So that's a good thing.
Adanta wastes no time and hits the high street. Ethical lenders are renowned for offering small loans in the hundreds to individuals, but they also loan millions of pounds to small businesses.
It'd be nice to move those pots, those little ones.
Yeah.
At a garden centre in Devon, there's a bit of a buzz in the air.
Make a bit of an impression, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. Owner Sue and her husband Andy are getting ready for a big day.
You sure you don't want a shower, dear?
I'm sure I don't want a shower.
She bought the garden shop in Collerton 4 years ago after borrowing £9,500 from a not-for-profit business lender. Today, the loan company's top man is coming to talk through her application.
A little bit nervous. The future kind of hangs on it, really. So it's quite important.
Sue's asked him for more money. She has an ambitious expansion plan, which involves renovating an old barn.
We're like this close now. And if they come back again and say, yes, you can have some more money, it's like the icing on the cake with the cherry and the sprinkles as well. It's just everything.
Sue didn't always have an outdoor job. She spent 17 years working as a school administrator, but one day a letter arrived at home which changed her life.
I am a lady of a certain age. I had got home from work one night and there was that letter from the Department for Work and Pensions which said, you can't retire until you're 66. And I was quite a long way off being 66. Don't get me wrong, I did love my job and I loved the children. But I'd been in it a long time and I'd seen the differences in education over that period, and it just wasn't something that I was feeling that committed to. I'd got to that stage of my life where I knew I needed a new challenge.
Then, by chance, Andy spotted the local garden centre was up for sale and thought it might be the break Sue needed.
When I made the suggestion, she thought I'd lost it completely.
But there were lots of good reasons to give it a go.
So Bonariensis is the tall one, and it has quite small flowers on the top. I've always loved gardens, plants, gardening.
Sue's eldest daughter was doing horticulture. Her youngest daughter was going to be doing catering. So the combination with the shop, the plants and the cafe just seemed to work perfectly.
Sue decided with family backing, it was an opportunity she couldn't resist.
Gradually, I thought that maybe it would work because, you know, everybody would have something to do. My children were looking for work and they bring extra skills that maybe I wouldn't have. So, yeah, I wrote a business plan.
Making it a family affair has proved crucial. It's Sue's venture, but Andy is always close at hand.
So Andy's been hugely important in the whole process. I couldn't have done any of this without him. He turns my crude, silly drawings into usable things.
I've never known anybody work so hard. She works at least 10 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I'm behind her all the way.
Having family involved in the business, it makes me work harder. You're a role model. If you work hard and they see the project of hard work as being success, then that makes them want to succeed as well, I think.
Enthusiasm is one thing. Raising the money she needed was another matter.
But the first bank I went to, the business manager wouldn't open the business plan and laughed at me. It made me much more determined because I'm like a terrier with a rat when I get onto something.
Then they heard about a not-for-profit finance organisation called Fredericks. They specialise in helping companies who might otherwise be refused loans. And they said, yes.
So when the money came through, I was just over the moon and I was on the phone to everybody. I've got the money, I've got the money. It's really happening.
When I got the call from Sue, I was absolutely delighted. But I knew then we were going to have an awful lot of work to do.
Since taking over the garden centre, Sue and Andy have revamped the gift shop and opened a cafe. And now they employ 10 staff. The business has grown beyond their wildest expectations. But Sue is not stopping there. She has her eyes on an expansion plan.
And the final piece of the jigsaw now is a refurbishment of my barn, which is an amazing structure, fabulous space inside. We're going to convert into 2 craft units and retain one end for storage. Loads of work, dear.
Thank you, Dad.
Sue's asking the loan company for a further £16,000 for the work. And today, their founder is calling in to talk over the application.
We can't convert the barn without raising the money through a loan.
I wouldn't say it's the whole future, but it's a big part of it.
There's a lot riding on this.
Today's quite exciting for me because I'm coming down and seeing, after 3 years, a business that's really blooming. I think that's an appropriate word for a garden shop. And we're looking at another opportunity to grow the business, make it a bigger, more successful business for the proprietor.
We're creating more possibilities for employment. We're giving people a reason to stay in Colleton, to grow the economy of the town. That's what's exciting, really. Hello.
Sue. How
Hello,
are you?
you must be Paul.
I am indeed.
Thank
I am
you.
indeed.
So, and this is my
Your humble. It's
Emporium.
fantastic. It's
Humble.
fantastic.
Shall I show you around?
Yes, please do.
Okay.
How big is it?
It's all of this down to the bottom there, down to the...
What, about 40 yards long?
Yeah.
So one of the key things I would say is if you can do as much pre-marketing as possible, because what you don't want to do is having the expenditure, having to repay loans. You want to have the revenue coming in at the same time. Right, so this is the interior.
Yeah. All this.
Right.
Beams, these are all original. Some of it goes back to the 1700s.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
It's not just a renovation project. Sue wants to help others starting up in business by offering low-cost rents. But will that go down well with the loan company?
I was given an opportunity to do this by you.
Yeah.
And I want to
Give others
give
a chance.
other people the opportunity to do what their dream is.
Fantastic. And you know what? You'll live longer as a result. Latest research shows.
Yes. He's so lovely. And that's given me confidence to really push forward and try and get this thing done now.
So what did Paul make of it all?
This ticks all the boxes. She's been repaying, she's shown she can run the business. So initially this looks good, but there can be things that come out at panels, a bit like going to trial, things emerge that could throw us off course. So I can't make any guarantees that this is in the bag.
Sue's hopes of expanding the business lie with Frederick's Loan Panel, who will be meeting to discuss her application in a few days. A third of Britons are unable to make their wages last an entire month. And when it happens, they are often tempted to use a credit card as backup.
It's really easy, because it feels like it's not your money, and that's what's really hard.
With credit cards and overdrafts giving us fast access to money that isn't ours, it's easy to rack up debts, not just from the money borrowed, but with the added interest too.
They can be very useful, but on the other hand, if you're not careful, they can run away with your money and you end up owing a loss.
And now I've got Win, I do rely on it, and I do feel like I could probably spend a bit more because I have that as a backup.
Paying only with cash can help avoid excessive spending, but carrying a lot of money around can be a worry. So, the credit unions are championing a prepayment card, a different type of plastic to help people avoid the temptation of getting into credit card debt.
Our prepaid cards are really helpful for people who might have had problems budgeting or with debts before. So it's a contactless debit card and it offers services to people who maybe can't access a bank account somewhere else. We get the bulk of their money, so their wages, and they'll ask us to release a certain amount. It might be weekly, fortnightly. So it's really good at helping people to budget and just manage their finances.
One regular charge card user is Wayne.
I can't overdraw and I can't dip into money I haven't got. So in turn, I don't get into problematic positions where I can't pay back something. So I'm always ahead.
The charge card does come with its own fees for withdrawing money from cash points and monthly membership. But crucially, when the money is gone, you can't withdraw anymore.
It's really good. The last payment you had into the account was on the 8th of August. So you've got £157 available. You can access that.
Take £50 of that.
OK, brilliant. So I think the prepaid card is really beneficial for Wayne. He hasn't got a current account anywhere else. So it means he can control his money, but he can't ever spend, so he's not going to get, charges or fees.
For customers like Wayne, it's a great way to keep in the black.
Thank you.
Well,
Thanks
thank
for your
you.
help. Very rewarding coming today. You know what I mean? I didn't know I was gonna pick up some money out of account. Yeah, happy man.
Ethical lenders up and down the country can find themselves involved in all kinds of unusual ventures. In Leicester, there's some serious pampering going on.
Doesn't hurt at all. I mean, it's very, very slight stinging. And I think a lot of people who've never visited a waxing specialist can't imagine a wax that isn't painful.
Rebecca Dowdwell's in the business of beauty.
Hiya, I have an 11 o'clock.
OK, what's your name?
Nadia.
Oh, lovely. Take a seat.
All right, thank you.
But her career didn't start in the world of waxing treatments.
So this is the first magazine that I wrote for.
Her job as a motoring journalist allowed her to travel the world. But when the recession hit in 2008, the glamour ended.
Car companies all pulled all of their advertising from the specialist trade magazines and things, and so I lost almost all of my writing work overnight.
Rebecca decided to change gear and put her savings into the beauty industry.
Good morning, NKD Waxing, Out speaking. How can I help?
I could see things like nail bars and tanning salons were starting to emerge, and I just felt that the next big thing probably would be specialist waxing salons. I think most people thought I was absolutely crazy.
But Rebecca proved them wrong. By 2015, she needed larger premises and a £25,000 loan to fund the move.
And although it was 5 or 6 years by then after the recession, the reality was that the banks still weren't really lending to small businesses.
She turned instead to not-for-profit lenders, First Enterprise Business Agency, with the help of business development manager Victoria Copestake.
Oh, hi, nice to see you, Rebecca. How's things going?
Yes, really well, thank you.
Good. Wow.
She's come to see Rebecca's latest venture, a new boutique salon in Leicester.
So this is the new store then?
It is, yeah.
Looks great. I thought from the outside, I knew straight away this was your place. I was really impressed when I first spoke to Rebecca. She obviously knew her stuff. She'd been running a successful business in Nottingham for about 5 years, and she was at a point now where the opportunity to grow the business and the fact that the business needed to move location was an ideal opportunity to go from strength to strength. Wow.
This is our ground floor treatment room. Really pleased with it.
Looks great. You can tell you've used a designer for it, yeah. So how have you found the transition then from that small unit you had and the boutique style salon?
It's been tough, I won't lie. I've had the business for 9 years now.
Wow.
And it's been really hard, and it still is hard. Now I've got about 15 staff between the two sites.
That's great.
Yeah. So, you know, we're on a busy day in Nottingham, we'll have 4 or 5 jam-packed columns running.
Yeah.
You know, we work long days, so it's very busy.
Good morning, Shannon.
It was great to see Victoria today because obviously if they hadn't have lent me the money in Nottingham, you know, I may not have been able to expand and grow, which would have meant that I couldn't have then expanded subsequently to Leicester.
So, fantastic.
And Rebecca's ambition doesn't end here.
No worries. I've moved that in.
She hopes more salons will follow.
I'd like to say that within 3 years you might see a few more NKDs.
Rebecca's story shows that sometimes a career U-turn can get you back in the fast lane. Still to come, garden centre owner Sue's moment of truth as she awaits a decision from the loan company.
It's all a bit scary because it's important and I'm passionate about this place.
New life for an old record store is music to customers' ears.
So far, trade has been fantastic. The reaction from the customers coming into the shop has been genuinely amazing.
So I'm just so happy that it's come back, it's reopened again.
And the credit union where years of banking means years of friendship.
It's been a long time, isn't it, Donna, that you've been with us now?
17 years.
Is it 17 years?
17
really?
years.
Gosh, that makes me feel ancient.
Many of us look forward to the day we're debt-free. But often, taking out a loan is the only way to afford the more expensive things in life. And credit unions can be a lower-cost way of borrowing if you want a holiday.
Hello.
Hi, how can I help?
Or like Chidi, need a new car to transport your growing family.
The loan I applied for has been approved.
So you applied for, is 15,000 I can see?
£15,000.
Yeah, what was that for?
Yeah, I want to use it for a car.
Oh, okay. Is that...
Chidi has just joined the Bristol Credit Union online and was approved for a £15,000 loan. He's come in to provide his ID so the loan can be paid out.
The car I have, it's meant for 4 people, and I have 3 sons, so and they are growing very fast, and it's no longer comfortable for all of us when we go on trips or travel. So we need something with more space.
Kate is processing his application.
Chidi's recently joined the credit union online, and he applied for a loan at the same time. So this is the first time we've met him in person. He applied for £15,000 to buy a car, so you can see he's actually really looking forward to buying something really decent.
15 grand might seem like a lot, but if the credit union is happy you can repay the loan, it'll help you out.
We don't get lots of people coming in for £15,000 loans, but mainly it's home improvements or a car, something like that. We just need to get the money to you, so we'll send it to your bank account by 4:30 today. Well, it was good to meet you.
Thank you.
And I hope you find something really wonderful to buy soon.
Thank you very much.
All right then, bye-bye.
Bye.
New beginnings come in many forms, from paying down a debt to starting a new business venture. The rate of new business startups in the UK is rising all the time. Latest figures show there are more than 600,000 a year.
Hi James, you all right, love? Just coming in to sign for your loan.
Yes, please.
Ethical lenders can be on hand to offer loans and support. The latest is in Leamington Spa, where in the age of streaming and downloads, Simon Delenti is opening a record store.
Thanks for reopening, because we've been nowhere without record shops.
All right, yeah. Thank you, please.
Have you got volume 1 and 2 in stock?
Yes, we do. They're £10 each.
We sell a wide range of music, from vinyl, CDs. We also sell DVDs, Blu-rays, headphones. We even sell turntables. We have a range of books. So we are a traditional sort of independent music retail store, of which there aren't that many left anymore.
My card. Do you like to be charged for 5p for a bag? Yeah.
Simon has worked in the retail music industry for 25 years. His last role was managing a chain of record shops.
The previous job I had, I'd worked for 10 years. We had a few shops dotted around the country, and I helped manage them. So I was very involved emotionally because I put everything I had into it. So it wasn't just a job for me.
But 7 months ago, his employer went bust and Simon lost his job.
You right there?
The company went into administration, which clearly was a shock. So I suddenly find myself unemployed. What do? You know, I'm closer to 50 than I am 40. So it's, do I change track? Do I learn a new industry? Married with 4 children, to suddenly find yourself unemployed is a very stressful thing to happen in anybody's life, but compounded by the fact that you feel the need to provide was a very difficult moment for myself, my wife, and obviously the family.
As the company went into liquidation, Simon didn't get any of the financial benefits he was owed.
I lost my redundancy pay and I lost my notice, so that was thousands of pounds, 10 years service, gone.
With a family to support and no experience in any other line of work, Simon took a risk. He decided to start up his own business and open a new record shop in one of his ex-employers' stores.
The opportunity arose for a shop in Leamington, a shop that I've known and I've worked in previously. I immediately, at the back of my mind, thought, well, this shop works. The customers love it, the business makes money, I enjoy doing the job. And so there was a spark of an opportunity there. I spoke to the landlord and they were very keen to have a record shop in their centre.
But there was just one huge hurdle to overcome. How to find the £25,000 he needed to get his idea off the ground.
Opening a record shop is not a cheap thing to do. You need to stock thousands of titles, most of which you have to pay up front. I didn't go to a high street bank because of their interest rates, which are very high. Also, I was scared off by people who I'd spoke to in terms of actually physically getting the loan for a new business.
Unemployed and with no savings to invest, Simon approached Richard Myers at Transmit Startup, a government-backed scheme set up to help new businesses across the country.
Simon wanted to borrow £25,000 from us. He had quite a substantial investment, as you can imagine, and that's the most anybody can borrow from us on the startup loan scheme. But he justified why he needed to borrow that money, which is exactly what we need from anybody who approaches us for finance.
They went through my business plan, went through my cash flow projections, and they went through it with a fine-tooth comb. And at the end, we'd put together a good business plan.
Everybody knows retail's struggling at the moment, but Simon's obviously carved a bit of a niche in his business. So it's always a risk, but Simon clearly knows the industry. He's well experienced in this, and so we felt really comfortable and confident in his ability to take the business forward.
Transmit lent Simon the money he needed to get the store open for business.
It was a huge sigh of relief that all my hard work had come to fruition. A feeling of immense satisfaction that I was finally getting somewhere, finally opening up a retail business on my own, having worked in retail for 25 years, to suddenly start doing it on your own and learning new things as well, was just a fantastic experience.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Simon. How are you?
Not too bad, thank you very much.
Great.
And to check out exactly how the money has been spent, Richard has been invited to the big launch.
Pretty good, eh?
Hiya, how you doing?
Hey, Rich.
Good to meet you.
Yeah, good.
So this is it. It's looking fantastic.
Can I show you around so you want to my investment on?
I've got to say the store's way bigger than I anticipated. You've done a great job. As soon as I walked in, it drags you into the store, doesn't it?
Yeah, we cram a lot in.
Yeah,
we cram a lot in. Every
Yeah.
space is filled. But that's key because, you know, we want people to come in and browse, and we offer a bit of a refuge.
Of everything. Yeah, yeah. So the money that we lent to you to get your business open, was it mainly spent on stock, or was it other things as well?
Mainly spent on stock,
Right.
and now it's about just reinvesting everything, every penny we make back into the shop, back into stock.
It's fantastic to see what Simon's done with the shop, finally get it open, fully stocked. It's amazing what he's achieved in the last few weeks. There's a whole buzz about the store. It's obviously something that Lebanon Spa really needs, an independent record store, and I'm sure the shop is going to do really, really well.
Just 7 months after losing his job, Simon is now his own boss in a world he knows and loves.
Cheers. So far, trade has been fantastic. The reaction from the customers coming into the shop has been genuinely amazing.
I live in Coventry and we don't really have a record store, so it's well worth coming over to Leamington. The staff here actually know something about what they're selling, and there's a huge range, so I'm just so happy that it's come back, it's reopened again.
Cheers again. Yep, OK, that's £18.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Coupled with the fact that I've got money coming in and I can pay the bills, and if my daughters need new shoes for dancing, there's money there to do that. So all those little things that, you know, fathers feel, suddenly I could provide again, which is, without stating the obvious, is one of the roles you have as a father. Hopefully, vinyl sales will continue to increase, and obviously the knock-on effect for me personally will be that I can continue to provide for my family.
There are more credit cards than people in the UK, And 3 million of us only make the minimum monthly payments, hardly touching the outstanding balance. Lingering debt on high-cost credit cards has been a regular talking point, as we took to the road giving people a chance to talk over their financial concerns. This session's in Lewisham and has trained money advisors on hand.
Problem debt can have a really destructive impact on people's lives. It can affect their health, it can affect their relationships with their families, it can affect their concentration, which in turn can affect their employment. Solving a debt problem will help us improve people's lives.
The trouble is, so many of us just won't admit anything's gone wrong until things are out of control.
The problem is huge because nobody wants to say they're in debt. People feel there's a sense of shame. I haven't been balancing my books. But for some people, that can't happen. And the earlier that you accept that it can't happen, the easier it is to solve.
28-year-old Luca's on his way to get some free advice from our trained experts.
I got into debt basically when I was with one of my exes a long time ago. I was only about 18 and we were quite young. We wanted to go on holiday and things like that. Yeah, I wanted more clothes.
He's about to start a new job and wants to take the opportunity to pay off his long-standing £2,500 debt.
Now, how can I help you today? I'm in quite a bit of debt, and I'm finding it quite a struggle to pay it off. And what kind of debt have you got? I've got store cards, credit cards, obviously back when I was with my ex-partner.
And you've been paying something towards the debt all this time?
Yeah, like £1 a month.
How long have you been making these reduced payments?
Quite a long time now.
Well,
about 2 years.
2 years. Because all that £1 a month is doing is treading water. It's not paying off your debt. Now, what is it that you want to change?
How I can pay it off quicker. When I get into a more permanent, stable job, then I'll pay them off more.
So what you need to do is do another budget. We can do that for you. That's not a problem.
Cool.
And work out what it is that you can afford. And if it's a bit more, you know, you can pay off quicker. But it would be good to look now and see if you could slightly increase.
Yeah,
now, you're not going to be
absolutely.
able to now because you don't start your job till next week. But we can certainly start getting things together so that as soon as you've been paid, you can go, right, I've started a new job, this is my money now.
Yeah.
But to sum it all up, the importance here is budgeting and having your budget upgraded on a regular basis. Is that OK with you?
Yeah, that's great.
Lovely.
Thank you much for your time, Jane.
An absolute pleasure.
You too. Take care. She gave me some really good advice. Obviously, moving forward, 100% going to talk to the creditors and obviously see way I can pay them more money as well each month. So obviously, I pay off the debt a lot more quicker than obviously what I'm paying at the moment.
He's realised making token payments, it's never going to pay off the debt. Even if he was only able to do it to £2 a month, he's able to reduce the repayment period a lot. So I think he's got a very shiny future ahead of him.
Loaded with good advice, Luca's ready to make a fresh start with his finances. Responsible borrowing and saving can form good habits which last a lifetime.
Hi there, how can I help?
And while credit unions take on new members every day,
There you go. Have a nice day.
some of their customers have been with them for years. Like Donna, who has come to the credit union in Lewisham to apply for a loan.
Morning. Take a seat, babe. How are you? It's been a long time, isn't it, Donna, that you've been with us now?
17 years.
Is it 17 years?
17
really?
years.
Gosh, that makes me feel ancient.
Donna learned about the credit union while working with a group of disadvantaged youngsters.
I initially got involved in it because I was managing a project for excluded young people and discovered that the young people were really interested in money management. So I then got in contact with Credit Union. That's how we met.
That's right. And I remember it was a young person that said, "You're making us save, why aren't you saving
That's
this?"
right. I then became a member.
But it's an anniversary of a different kind that's brought Donna here today.
Next year, it's my 21st wedding anniversary. So I would like to invite some family and friends for us to have a gathering. And I wanted to see what the availability in terms of funds, if I run out or run short, if it's possible to get a loan.
The credit union encourages its borrowers to save whilst they're paying back their loan.
Well, how it works is that you take a loan, and however much the loan is, there's an agreed amount that you pay back. And then out of that money, there's a percentage that you agree, and that goes into your savings, and then the rest of it goes into your loan. So your loan comes down, but your savings goes up. So for me, it's a bonus to be able to be saving and at the same time paying back.
OK, sweetheart. Well, you haven't got a loan at the moment.
No.
You paid off the last one. That was really, really well. You've got really good history with us. So I can more or less say to you that you'd probably be able to go up a bit from the amount you applied for last time.
Donna's good credit and long membership with the credit union means she'll be given the loan and should be able to start planning for her family gathering. In Devon, garden centre owner Sue is waiting to hear if she'll get a loan to finance her expansion plans. But all has not gone well. The terms of her lease won't allow Sue to convert the barn into the craft units she had planned.
Unfortunately, that kind of fell through, so I had to sit down rather quickly and rethink. It took me a couple of sleepless nights thinking about what we could do. Good company.
Instead, she's decided to expand the most lucrative part of the business, the cafe.
Got a pretty good handle on what areas of the business are performing well, which is why we're going to extend the cafe, because that's really outperforming everything at the moment. Watch this space.
Shrewd businesswoman Sue has found a silver lining in a looming storm cloud.
It will mean that we can make the business bigger and better and create new jobs. But I'm still full of butterflies.
But it does up the stakes for the loan decision. The finance company, Fredericks, are meeting to discuss her application, and they have some tough questions about Sue's change of plan.
It's all a bit scary.